Hi guys, I'm just back to walk you through the next stage of Core Plus. And again, what we're leading up to is why and how you set up a 9% business that gets you in the game and moves you forward, because the money is not just at 9%, it's all the way through. But the way you set yourself up for 9% will carry you all the way through, right? So at the 9% level, let's just have a look here. At the 9% level, what Amway is saying is that they will give you a 30% multiplier on your profitability. Now that's conditional on you having 3 teams that are 3% or above. In other words, 3 bonus producing teams. If you don't know what a bonus producing team is, a leg, you'll hear the term BPL, bonus producing leg, which is the way we normally refer to it. You will get to immerse yourself in the bonus scale. 3%, 6%, 9%, 12%, 15%, 18%, 21%, okay? So 3% is 100 PV, 6% is 400 PV, 9% is 1000 PV, 12% is 2000 PV, 15% is 3250 PV, 18% is 5000 PV, and 21% is 7500 PV. Top of the scale, 21%, 7500 PV, okay? So nice stepping stones all the way through, magic formula. And you'll kind of learn to immerse yourself in that. More importantly, I think you'll value the Network 21 system, because as you look at the scale and you try and figure it out, you realize the power of numbers and the power of duplication. That, wow, what if you've got people just doing 100 points a month consistently? And that's where things like AutoShip come in, and setting people up properly, getting people started properly in the business. Chart Your Course is a great way to get them started properly, introduce them to the product. But a good get start is introduction to the product and making sure they place a product order, no risk, the 90-day money-back guarantee, etc. Connecting them to the system, make sure they're able to listen to some audios and at least attend some online functions and physical functions when we're at that point. And thirdly, connect them to the line of sponsorship, the team. Let them know who's upline, get your upline involved with your people, help them get started properly, all right? So when we get to 9%, that's 1,000 points. Obviously, someone trying to do that on their own, that's pretty difficult, all right? But the point is, a bunch of people doing 100 points, no problem. Okay, but we want to get them started properly. And when you go all the way through to 7,500 points, think about it, that's 75 households doing 100 points. Does that mean you only have 75 households in your whole business to do 7,500? No, not necessarily, but some will do 200 or 300 or more really, really easily, particularly using the supplements and the skincare, all the health and beauty stuff. Some people will do 30 points. So it'll average out, but you get the idea of how you climb up the bonus scale. But at 9%, if you just have, so you need to have 3 teams at 3% or more, okay, to earn that bonus. Now, what happens if you only have 2 teams at that level? So you could still go 9% with just 2 teams at the 3% level, and maybe nothing else, or maybe someone with with a 50 points or something. Well, you'll earn about $150, maybe less. Unlikely you'd earn much more than that. But the multiplier would be 0. You don't get the 30% because you don't have that 3rd team. So what Amway's trying to do is say, hey, get more profitable and then we'll multiply it. Well, what does more profitable mean? If you've got just, say, 3 teams set up, it's probably about 175 if you're on the $200 mark. You get an extra $60. Not bad, just extra money over and above anything anyone else historically has got from getting a 9% structure up, all right? So you'll get 30% on multiplied by that, okay? Now, what would happen if you had 4 teams at 3%? I mean, it says 3% minimum and 3 teams minimum, doesn't say maximum. What happens if you had a 4th team? Well, it would certainly be over $200 then. Not significantly more. You've got more smaller teams rather than a couple of bigger teams. And you can play with the numbers yourself and see how that would work. But you would now be over $200 comfortably. That would mean over $260, a 30% multiplier on that. All right, so you understand how that multiplier works, hopefully. All right, so on this, no increase. On this, $50, $60 increase. On this, $60 or more dollar increase. That's how that multiplier works. So what would happen if you're trying to get to 15%? Why do you want to get to 15%? Well, obviously, nice stepping stone in between with Leaders Club Plus. And I love Leaders Club Plus. But where Amway throws the next money is called a Bronze Builder. This is Bronze Foundation. This is called Bronze Builder, which says we're going to multiply your profitability by 40%. So get profitable and we'll multiply it by 40%. Wow, okay, got my attention. So what is that? Well, that's when you have 3 teams that are 6% or more, okay? Excuse the writing, but you've got 3 teams that are 6% or more, and overall you're at the 15% level. So 6% is a 400-point team, so 400 or more, okay? And you'll get a 40% multiplier. Now, go back a step. This 30% actually applies for a maximum of 12 months. The first month you get that structure, you get the 30%. And that 30% will be paid to you for 12 months. It'll be paid for 12 months in an 18-month time frame, but 12 months maximum. All right. So if you miss a month, you can catch up, yes. But how about we try and set this up that we don't miss months? Because it's not just scoring that 30% for 12 months, it's scoring the 40% plus the 30%. Because here's how it works. If you go from 9% to 15% quickly, you are going to score both. You're going to get a 70% multiplier, 30% plus 40%. Okay, now the goal obviously is to get to 21%, top of the scale. That's where significant money comes in. That's where when we were at 21%, even without all of this, it allowed Deirdre to quit work and for us to go, we've got enough foundation here to build this onto a bigger business. And we did, and we built to the Ruby level, and that helped us to replace Deirdre's income. But certainly at the 21% level, it gave us the option for Deirdre to quit work. So now, with all the extra bonuses that are available, it certainly is a viable level if you've set it up correctly and you score in some of the bonuses. But the goal is to get there. Now, Deirdre and I, if you know our story, pretty sad. You probably want a box of tissues at this point. But, we were in our first month like 0%. Then we were 3%. But for 16 months, we were still at the 3% level after 16 months. And it wasn't like we weren't working. We were just doing everything else wrong. We showed the wrong people. We sponsored the wrong people. We didn't do the right things with the wrong people, and we didn't have a goal. Most importantly, we didn't have a goal. We were just kind of playing Amway and having a crack at this thing, no expectation. And we went to a major weekend conference and got a decision to go 21%. And we went 9%, 15%, 21% in 2.5 months, right? So 75 days later, we were 21% after sitting around 3% forever, which is why we're so passionate on goals. And it's good getting the information, but you got to be passionate about what you want and why you want it. And we just decided by then we could do this. It's just not that complicated, but we'd never set a goal and committed to a goal and just gone, let's go. All right. So 9%, 15%, 21%, right? But at this level, what we're saying is we want to get there as quickly as possible from 9%, because that 30% you're going to earn for every month that you have the right 9% structure. But you're now going to get another 40% on top of that when you reach 15%. So this is not like a use up the whole 30% multiplier, then go 15%, use up the 40% multiplier. This is like, hey, you can actually add these bonuses together and really, 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 really amplify your income. So to get back to it, what happens if you reach 15% and you only have 2 6% teams and maybe a 3%, but you only have 2 teams that are 6% or above? And maybe one of them's 12%, could be large, doesn't matter. Maybe they both 9%, could be large, doesn't matter. If you don't have a third team, 6%, you do not get the multiplier. So typically, a business with 2 teams set up at that level would probably earn $500 a month. Maybe a bit less, probably unlikely any much more than that. Okay, $500 a month, not bad, because if you've got 2 teams, probably you didn't do an awful lot. You may have struck a couple of good people, or your upline might have done a lot, I don't know. But you got $500 a month coming in. What happens if you got 3 teams 6% or above? And you can go play with the numbers and add up how that works. What if this team was 1,500 points and this team was 1,000 points, and what would this team need to be? And you can play with this and figure it out and work out some incomes. And I really encourage you to do that. With more clarity, you'll understand this more. But typically, a 15% business with 3 teams of 6% above will be close to $1,000 a month. You got some grace period there, but we don't want grace. We want to get this growing all the way through, right? That's why I want to set it up right. So it's worth that. Now, what happens if you've got a 4th 6% team? There's no law against that. In fact, Amway encourages it. What happens if you're more profitable? Hey, we'll just multiply the bigger profitability number. Now, because you'll have more smaller teams, your income is larger for sure, but not dramatically larger, but it'll be over $1,000 a month. This is probably a bit under $1,000 a month. Apply the multipliers, right? The 30% and the 40% if you're qualifying for both. This is like, $1,800 a month. Not a bad little part-time income for setting up this properly, all right? Versus $500 a month. Big difference. So I'm just trying to get you to understand the process here and the limitations and so you know what you focused on and why we're going to set up 9% differently. But here's the super cool thing. I mean, really, really crazy. At 7,500, you are 21%. But 7,501, Amway is going to pay an extra 2%. So 2% on your whole team. That's 7,500 points. Multiplied by about $4 to 1, $4 to 1, 2%, it's over $600. Okay, that's pretty exciting. But if you are still in the scope of, say, Deirdre and I's example, you went 9, 15, 21. How do you do that? Man, we went nuts. We absolutely went nuts. It was really, really hard work. But it was hard work for a very short time. So, whether you have a burst or you don't have a burst, whatever. But if you're qualifying for that, you're getting also the 30% if you're still within its 12-month time frame, and you're getting the 40%. So take that as an example. And here's the important thing. Again, if you set it up correctly, your profitability will be more, all right? Because 21% business will vary anywhere from 1,500 literally to 3,500. Because, same reason as here, the way it's structured and the number of teams you have all gets back to your foundation that you laid. And then the profitability is related to how many teams you have that are active. And the interesting thing, and what I love about Core Plus, is if you've got a lot of teams and hence your profitability is high, well, you've got a lot of people potentially about to start this journey that you're on, And so your business can explode. And I think that's the thing you want to get your head around. Why this works so well is it's a complete win-win. So at this stage, you've got a 21% business, literally could be anywhere from 1,500 to 3,500. If you've got just 7,501, any structure, you'll still get the 2%. And you'll still get the 30% and 40% multipliers if you are within the time frame, and as long as you have, more than the 3% teams or 6% teams, obviously, which would be hard to be 21% without that. But that means, okay, multiply 70% on top of 1,500, not bad, good multiplier, right? But multiply 70% on top of 2,500 or 3,000 or maybe even 3,500, wow. that's pretty life-changing. So also at this stage, as you know, you're in qualification for the TRIPS and beyond, all right? So it all goes back to how, we keep saying, set this up correctly because you'll earn more, but it'll fast track you to here because you'll earn more, because it'll fast track you to here because you'll earn more. So let's just talk on the next segment about how to set up 9% properly and give you a bit of a glimpse at what that looks like. But hope we're not losing you in the detail, because it still always gets back to what do you want, how badly do you want it? And reality is that if you set it up properly, you'll explode this business and explode your income. And pretty much a lot of your problems can be solved with a more profitable business. And that's what I love about this, and that's what I also love about people understanding what they got in their hands. And hey, we've all got the right time, the right desire, the right belief, whatever, to chase something or not. But as long as we know what we got in our hands, and it's super, super powerful. So we'll be back with you shortly and go through the how to set up a 9% business, and that'll be pretty short. Okay, catch you soon.